finally, we get to get in front of you and tell that.
Thanks.
And I have to say that we really are excited to walk in behind the clan because both Vaughn and I are Scottish. And
I'm really proud to be behind the Klingons as well because I'm also Klingon.
Yeah, so the problem is what people fail to realize is that Cardassians have 2 male members. So they're much more exciting.
The father and the brother.
A little higher, a little lower. So we're in Vulcan. How fantastic is this?
But before we get off Cardassians,
what?
Do you guys know? He told me today the difference between the male Cardassians and the female Cardassians. Who knows?
Who knows? Somebody does know. You know. The blue and the spoon, exactly.
And this guy said today, he said, yeah, look at the blue on that one. That was funny.
Sometimes those Klingons have some wits, you know, I must say.
Just sometimes.
So I'll tell you, this is a great little town. Don't you love this town? Just get out of LA in a heartbeat. My wife won't do it. So. Wait for her to die, I guess. Oh no, I don't mean like tonight. Everybody dies, come on.
So who was here last year and saw JG and Bob O'Reilly? That was crazy Klingons, I must say. You should try traveling around Europe with those guys.
Spend half of it in jail.
You think we drank last night? No.
I actually had to break up a drunken fight with this big
Don't ever talk about Bob O'Reilly's mother when he's drunk.
That's right. He's very Irish. You know, he's my mother's.
What did you say about my mother?
I said, Happy Mother's Day, you know. My mother's dead.
He's so outrageous in that. I mean, when I met Bob, I worked on the show with him a few times, right? And that makeup is so outrageous. I remember most of the people on the set had no idea what I looked like outside of makeup. Because you go in at 4 o'clock in the morning, I did anyway, sometimes he had to go in early. You get to the set, and this is just to look like this. You've heard of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis? Well, they've got nothing on us. Lady! Anyway, you get at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're in the chair, you have to be on the set at 7 to rehearse. Camera block, they call it. So you're in makeup. Nobody ever sees you out of that makeup. So one day, it was Jeff Coombs and I were doing the show, and we finished all of our stuff before lunch. So the assistant director said, well, you guys go ahead and get out of makeup after lunch, and then we'll go and do the turnaround. You know, like, if they're shooting him, they turn around and then shoot me. So I didn't have to be in costume anymore. So they called us back after lunch. I came and I sat down on the set, you know, where we're supposed to be, and the director's looking around, the second assistant director's looking around and said, who the hell is that? He said, and the nice thing is, BJ, remember her? She was in?
Yes.
He said, I didn't realize you were so good looking.
He's been dying to tell that to somebody. I had an experience like that though, because in Enterprise I played a few different characters in that one show, you know, and I had been doing the Admiral for a while, and then I did this thing called the Cretacean, which took 6.5 hours in the chair, by the way. Which was,
tell them the story.
Oh yeah, and then after the first day I got that makeup on, after 6.5 hours in the makeup chair, the first time I've ever seen a producer look sheepish. You know, Mary came running up to me with, what's that other guy's? Oh, you didn't have the same guys, did you? But they came running up and said, Vaughn, we're so sorry, we're so sorry. We're running a little behind. We're not going to get to you today. 6.5 hours in the makeup chair. So I had that. And the bad thing was I had a thing to do at NBC the next day. So I had to finish, they kind of worked with each other, and I finished shooting the Cretacean by 2 to be at NBC by 4:30 and finished that at about 11:30 at night. You know, and I
got a lot of overtime.
Yeah, I got a lot of overtime. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I said something to remind me about that Cardassian makeup. Michael Westmore, who designed all of the makeup for the show, very famous
Oscar-winning
family. You can see all those old movies. You'll see a Westmore name that made up all those old movie stars too. And I said to him one time when he was, you know, they have to put a mask on your face to get all of in order to do it. They cover your whole face in plaster and stick straws up your nose so you can breathe. And I said to him after I got the stuff off, I said, well, how did you come up with this makeup, Cardassian makeup? He said, well, to be honest with you, I was in a Chinese restaurant. And I was walking out of the Chinese restaurant, and you know, sometimes they have in the window what dishes they have. And there was a Chinese thing with a Chinese spoon sitting there. You know those big Chinese soup spoons? He said, that's what should go in the forehead, the Chinese soup spoon.
That's a spoon. Oh, I thought you were kidding around. It was a spoon.
And if you're really lucky, it's a blue spoon.
On that one, aren't they?
Blue on that one, baby.
So, yeah, you guys been coming to these forever?
Yes.
Who's been to more than 5? Oh, that's pretty good. Who's been to 3? Wow. Who's at their first one?
Holy mackerel!
That's
And how many people have gone to like other conventions, like big conventions?
Oh,
See, I sort of like these smaller ones because you get to be much more intimate. You can really actually talk to people.
Yeah.
And some of those times, you know, you got 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, and like that. Pardon my French. That I won't say it. That
he meant they speak French, so you can't.
That unpleasant. Hey, more voici, baby. Shatner, you know, is not the most pleasant of people, right? I have to tell you a funny story nobody knows about Shatner one time. My ex-wife, who was on Star Trek 2, did you know that? Roxanne, she was on
Dora's.
Yeah. What was her name? What was her real name?
Roxanne Dawson.
Roxanne what? Roxanne Biggs. Then it was Biggs Dawson, and she finally gave me my name back. Thank you.
We have a line about her in our song, by the way.
So anyway, Shatner, you know, you pay a lot of money to go to these damn things. Sits there and just, you know, boom, boom, boom. You can't read his handwriting. Doesn't look at you. Doesn't talk to you. He gets paid $30,000, $40,000 for an hour. He can at least say, "Hey, hi, how you doing? Where you from? Nice ears," or whatever. But the point is that we really enjoy those smaller, more intimate conventions because you could really. I tell you something. We have been all over the world: Australia, Japan, Italy, Germany, London, Ireland,
Canada.
You all are members of such a huge extended family that is connected by whatever is that resounds in you from Star Trek.
Before you ever even meet each other, you already know each other in a way. And they're lifelong friends come out of these relationships. You know,
We've done a few of these. Anybody gone on the cruises ever? That's a lot of fun. Those cruises are a lot of fun. I thought I was going to hate it. I've gone on 3 of them now. I loved it. And there are people who go on these cruises. They save up all year to go on. They don't really care that the celebrities are there. They do, but they go because they can spend the time with the people they meet every year. People from Ireland, I mean, all over the world. The last one.
I get emails from him all the time.
Yeah, he's going on one, what?
From Montreal to Boston. In the 24th, we're doing a Montreal to Boston cruise trip. They may be full, but call them and see it.
That's a lot of fun. But the point being is that we're a member. I had no idea what I was stepping into when I stepped into this world. No idea. I mean, I watched the original series a little bit. I got cast. I'll tell you the story of how I got cast in a minute, which is pretty fun. But I had no idea who these people were, who Cardassians were.
Yeah, you know what impresses me about
Tell me.
these people, though, is the general kindness they have toward one another. Don't really care what anybody else does. They all love peace, unity, and hope. That is.
We were in Germany. We premiered the band, the Enterprise Blues Band in Germany last October, and they asked us to go speak at a high school. And we said, sure. You know, of course, we get up 7 o'clock in the morning. They take us to high school. The entire high school is based on the principles of Star Trek. 300 students.
We walked in the
portraits
Our portraits were the whole.
Painted on the walls. And it's all about, I tell you what, it's about inclusion, it's about respect, it's about peace, and it's about how they treat each other. And they figure that Star Trek, the basic principles of Star Trek is about that. And so there's one or two people, and they talk the principal into it, and the entire curriculum is based on surrounding the Star Trek theme. And it was just blew us away. They did a show for us. It was just.
Every time I think about it.
Oh my goodness.
We did a little show for
We
them.
did a little show for them.
Then they felt they had to do one for us.
And another thing,
song.
Vaughn was saying about how the graciousness of the fans. When somebody approached me to start a fan club, and I was sort of like embarrassed about it, they said, no, the reason we do fan clubs is to raise money for charity. And what do you want your charity money to go to? And almost every actor that's been on the show, I give them, they're on their own, so I try to give them some money. So, you know, they pay us to show up at these things, but I just want you all to know that a lot of the money that I make and we all make goes to the charity. That's why we take the time out of our lives to come here to do this. The most biggest, you know, one of the best art school in North America. Shakespeare, blah, 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 blah. So I go there, and I look, and I go show up, and there's, you know, a whole bunch of people sitting there in the waiting room to go in to read for this. I look at the script. There's 5 words. A buck is a buck. You know? They're in range, sir. Fire. I was Juilliard. I thought, well, okay, I'll go in and I'll do it. So I go and I sit down there. And you go in one of these audition rooms. If you think you may have heard this, there's like 15 people sitting there, producers and writers and blah blah blah. So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting at a chair. What the hell you do with this? They're in range, sir. Fire. Oh, that was great. That was really great. This. Thank you very much. I go home. I get a phone call. I said, they want you to come back tomorrow and read it again. So I go back the next day, and instead of 15 other actors reading for the part, there's 3 actors reading for the part. So I walk in again, and the same people are sitting there, and the main guy, Ira Bear, says, that was such an intelligent reading you did yesterday.
You must have seen Juilliard on the resume.
So I did the thing again, they're in range, sir, fire, blah, blah, I get the job. You know, and it went from being Ducat's lackey to the leader of the empire. But what I didn't know was that Ira Stephen Bear, who was the executive producer of that show, a great writer, was obsessed with the Alamo. You know about the Alamo, right? I did the first dramatic IMAX film about the Alamo. I played William Bear Travis. So little did I know that just having walked into the room, he decided, okay, he's going to be the guy. And if you notice, at the end of Deep Space Nine, have you seen the whole Deep Space Nine series? The last 2 or 3 episodes, those 2 guys, the Irish guy, what's the name? No. O'Brien and Bashir and Sid, they were playing all this Alamo stuff. So, he was obsessed with it. So, I get the final script where I die. Thank God, though, hey, if you had to die, you might as well die in the last 5 minutes of the last show, of the last year of the series. So I get the script, and I look and I say, it says, you know, Dumar is killed by ND aliens.
Nondescript.
ND means nondescript. I went up to the director, Alan Craig, who was a Canadian guy, great guy. And I said, Alan, and we were friends by the time. I said, Alan, I can't be killed by a nondescript alien. How could you? I said, well, he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to have a John Woo death. You know who John Woo is? Is that Asian director, what they call his movies bullet ballets, does so many things. He said, okay, well, tell me what you want to do. I said, I want to have 2 big honking guns.
I thought Cardassians did.
Yeah, that makes it 4, right?
Well, it's 2 more, big guy.
And I want to take out 15 Jem'Hadar, and I want my chest to explode, and I want to die in somebody's arms. He said, okay. So if you go back and you watch that last episode, that's what happens. I take all these guys, I boom, 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 and I die in somebody's arms. It just happens to be Andy Robinson. Right? But it was a good way to go. Who knew? 5 years, and I think the last 2 years I did about 14 episodes apiece because they loved the recurring characters on Deep Space Nine. So much so that the regulars were getting pissed off. Because in season 6, there were the first 6 episodes, we took over that space station. And the regulars were off in the Defiant or somewhere else. So we felt like it was our series for that time.
You know, and it should have been. In another time, all of you guys would have had contracts, but they couldn't afford it. So.
I'll tell you something, Paramount is the ultimate Ferengi. Somebody told me a story here that they wanted $350,000 for you to use the name Vulcan for your town.
Your town. It's been named Vulcan
for the town, huh?
years.
What? They tried to sue it until somebody said, excuse me, it's been called Vulcan for 90 years.
You should pay us.
You should pay us. You want to talk about live long and prosper,
Well, you know, I found out about my death a little differently. The first death. See, they had to take me out in 2 balls of fire. So, yeah, 12 times. But I'm talking about Admiral Forrest. I found out because, you know, we have this band, the Enterprise Blues Band, and one of the guys in our band is the 5-time Emmy Award-winning special effects director of the show, Ron B. Moore. And so I was taking him a rehearsal CD to his office because we had been rehearsing and... is that me? Oh, it's my wife.
It's my agent.
It's my wife. Hey,
Chris!
Chris? Who's this?
Oh, God, it's not Chris. Quiet.
Oh, this is Lisa. Just a minute. Will you guys all say hi, Lisa? Hi, Lisa! Thank you. Lisa and I are doing a play in August. So, I should be using the microphone. Lisa, I can't talk now. So, I'll call you a little later, okay? Okay, we'll talk to you.
Ask her what she's wearing.
Oh, what are you wearing? We'll talk to you. Say hi to Jim. All right. Jim is my good...
We don't care. We don't care about Jim.
I found out about my death. I'm walking there to take him a... I take this CD to him, and his cohort, who's working in the downstairs office, says, "Oh, hi, Vaughn. Gee, I'm sorry to hear what's happening to you. Do you know what's happening to you?" I said, immediately, I just said, "Do I die?" And he says, well, "I don't want to tell you. I can't tell you. So I walk into Ron's office. I break open the door. I said, "Ron, do I die?" He said, "Oh, God, I just didn't have the heart to tell you. I just didn't." Of course, they called me that day, and they said, "Well, we wanted you to know before it actually happened, you got a script on, you're going to die in a couple weeks." And they said, "Now, the plan is to bring you back as a whole bunch of characters," which they didn't. They brought me back as one character. It's kind of cool, and In the Mirror Darkly, which was fun. You know, it was fun to do. Got to suck face with Hoshi. Not bad for a 56-year-old dog, you know.
She was 56 years old?
It's good for her age. Yeah, but that's the way
Remember Zial, Ducat's daughter?
Oh, yeah.
I offed her, right? I'm sitting, they disliked the actress so many times they recast her 3 times. They had 3 different actresses that played that part. So on the set where we were, you go in a trailer to do your makeup, and there's about 5 seats like these, with, you know, mirrors and the makeup chair. We're sitting there, she's sitting right there getting her makeup done, and I'm sitting here getting my makeup done. And there's next week's script on the front, on the desk of the makeup artist. I said, "Oh, let me look at that." Looking at it, going around there, looking at it. "I killed Zial." She sits and she goes. She had no idea she was going to die next week. I didn't die, thank God. I could have died at any time. I'm glad she did.
That's funny. That kind of happened to my friend Jim. I know you don't want to hear about Jim, but he's been in a soap opera for 22 years. He was in it for 19, and they sent him a script where he learned he was going to die. Right? I mean, that's how he learned he was going to die. He'd been in that show for 19 years, and he got his script for the next week, and he died. The fans didn't like it. They made him bring him back, and now he's been on it for 25 years. Of course, he's blind and in a coma. Anyway, so now that was your entrance into Star Trek.
That was my interest in Star Trek, indeed.
What was your entrance into acting?
Oh, wow.
What was that?
I sing, right? I used to sing a lot, and I still sing a lot. And I went to Ohio.
Canada's a nice country, you know. It's very friendly. It's funny too. When I came up here the last time, I stopped in a gas station, and the guy said, "Now, come on, be honest. Don't you think we're a lot more friendly than you, eh?" Yeah, you are kind of. Yeah. Though I did just come from a little town in Kansas. Did a little movie in a little town in Kansas, very similar to this, and it was so strange because as I walked down the main street, you know, I stopped at the corner, the car stops here, and the lady in the car is waving at me, you know. I know she can't be waving
He said,
at me.
did I sleep with her when I was young?
Look at the blue on that one. And I'm looking around me to see who, you know, she's waving at. So I continue my journey. I'm walking down the street, and a car drives by, and as they drive, they're waving at me. The next car is waving at me. It's starting to get like the Twilight Zone. Every person, I thought they'd bury me under a tree, and they'd all be waving at me. But they tend.
That's what happens in a small town. That's I live in a small village. That's what they do. They don't know that. I've got a pickup truck. I love picking my.
Me too.
Pickup truck, right? They wave at you. I wave back. I don't know them. You wouldn't do that really in New York City.
Oh. Los Angeles. See,
Los Angeles.
They're not used to strangers in little towns. They know everybody. In Los Angeles, everybody's a stranger.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody in Los Angeles, you know?
Europe, it's different. I find Europe people, you know, if I go to Italy every year, you see somebody come on the street and you say buongiorno or whatever. France, the same thing. You say hello. Why don't we do it? Yes?
There's a lot of controversy amongst fans about Enterprise. What do you guys feel about it? What's your, I mean, is it the best, the worst? Do you think it
Well, now,
back together or what?
we probably have a couple of different opinions on that. You know, do you mean the reason it only lasted 4 years?
Okay.
Is that what you mean? My feeling is that the general public needed a rest because we had, you know, so many new episodes going for over 18 years that it just became something of a cliche. Now, and I hate to say this too.
Then don't say it.
Well, I gotta say it. There's a lot of things I hate to say, but I have to say it. Well, no, I don't. No, I mean, Scott Bakula is the finest gentleman and one of the most talented actors I have ever met.
He said that about me this morning.
And it's true about him too. But as a lead in a series, he is the finest actor that I think I've worked with. But I don't think he ever quite got a handle on that role.
He didn't.
I think what he missed was a sense of humor. He's supposed to have a sense of humor, and he was so down. Everything was so important all the time that, like Kirk, even though he's a jerk, Kirk's a jerk. It's our next song. Kirk's a jerk. In the series, he had a sense of humor. They had a sense of joy about this adventure, you know, that was happening, and you know, Scott just never quite got that.
I made the biggest faux pas that one should do when you're an actor. You should never do this. Anybody, don't ever do this. I did an episode of Enterprise. And they called and they just asked me to do it, which was nice. And I thought, well, it's probably not going to last very long, so I should probably do an episode.
Who were you?
I was the Illyrian captain. They tried to steal my cord. Yeah, it was called Damage. It was actually a very cool episode, and they left me floating in space. I said, oh great, I'll probably come back. But anyway, all my scenes were with Scott, and I agree, Scott he's a gentleman, wonderful guy, and he rehearsed a scene with me, and I'm looking at him, and I said, it's very melodramatic, isn't it? And he went, like, you know, I just criticized his work because he was playing it so melodramatically, and he should have had a little wry sense of something to it, and I should not have said that.
Should have done it like he loved it, instead of like it was such agony for him to do it, you know. But still, I do believe he's a great actor, and if you're filming this, I will shoot. You do the next one.
No.
Never mind. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do red shirt.
That's what we should do. Just going to give you a little taste of what is on our first CD there. So.
Okay. Which is called the Enterprise Blues Band. That's our
Yes, and I actually brought my own. I went to Europe a couple of years ago, and they kept saying, "I'm going to come with a CD." So I went in and I did my own CD, just me and the acoustic guitar, which I brought a few of as well. So if anybody's a real fan of
voice of an angel. Me, I have the voice of a ragged dog. It's okay, I like ragged dogs. Now, let me tell you about this song here. Ron B. Moore said he wanted something so he could play the electric guitar, you know, so he said, well, let's write one about let's do a 12-bar blues about the red shirts. So I didn't know how to do that, so this is what we came up with. So I wrote this instead. Oh, wait a minute, you're in an E, right? I'm sorry. Please, Mr. Captain, don't send me outside. I said, please, Mr. Captain, don't send me outside. Cause beat me down, that red shirt, I got no place to hide. I said, please, Mr. Doctor, you be red and I'll be blue. Please, Mr. Doctor, you be red, I'll be blue. Let me be blue. Just this one time, Mr. Doctor, you be me, not be you. You be me, let me be you. Oh, I like the letter. You woke up in the morning, saw that red shirt. Oh, not the red shirt. Yeah, I woke up in the morning, saw that red shirt. Oh, not the red shirt. Why I knew something bad gonna happen. I just pray, don't let it hurt. Now put that red shirt on, you had to die. Yeah, put that red shirt on, and you had to die. Had to call up my baby and say, baby, don't you cry. You never liked me anyway. Don't send me outside. I said, please, Miss Cap, don't send me outside. Oh, don't send me outside. Cause beat me down, that red shirt, I got no place to hide. Oh, no. That's what happens. Dress me up in blue, dress me up in gold. Let me be gold. You can dress me up in blue, dress me up in gold. Let me be gold. But put me in that red shirt cap, and I got no chance of growing old. Please, Mr. Doctor, you be red and I'll be blue. I said, please, Mr. Doctor, you be red, I'll be blue. Just this one time, Mr. Doctor, you be me, I'll be you. You be me, let me be you. You be me, let me be you. Gotta get a new egg. That's not all you gotta do. It's not wrong at the moment. Don't worry. Please, Mr. Shatner, I don't want to go. Forward! Oh! Please, Mr. Shatner, I don't want to go. You're gonna hurt my pride. You hit me in the backside, cause you beat me down in that red shirt. I got no place to hide. He's wearing a red shirt.
That means this is his last job.
There you go.
Let's do the Enterprise Blues.
All right, that's the Enterprise Blues. That's the first song.
Now you have to understand, on the CD we got 5 musicians, a bass player, a
5-part harmony. I got the Enterprise Blues, blue as I can be. You took off into space and you took off without me. Oh, come on, give me your forehead, put me back on TV. Will I be any creature that you need on your show? Yeah, I can be a Klingon like nobody that you know. Oh, come on, give me a forehead, and a prize gon' go. Will Vulcan woman, with that thing you wear, you think your pointy ears can get you anywhere? That just could happen, let's wait and see. Maybe you can get the captain to bring the Enterprise to me. I got the Enterprise Blue, blue as I can be. Ow! You took off into space and you took off without me. Whoa, come on, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. Go ahead, Steve. Oh, he's not here. I'll go.
Go,
Should I go? But Steve's not
We're already halfway through it.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna be, what's his name? Shoes, you give me the blues, I love the hearage and hunt. My board can be blunt, I got pity and flesh. I'm such a mess, I got the blues. I got the Enterprise Blues, I'm blue as I can be. You took off into space and you took off without me. Oh, come on, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. Wow. What the heck, wearing Klingon shoes. They give me the blues, I love the hearage and hunt. My board can be blunt, I got pity and flesh. I'm such a mess, I got the blues. Got the Enterprise Blues, I'm blue as I can be. Blues, Enterprise Blues. You took off into space and took off without me. Enterprise Blues. Come on, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. Yes, I said, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. One more time. Come on, give me a forehead, and put me back on. Put it back on. Don't take me out, but put me on. Put the face back on.